Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Cinnamon Stitches. I am your floor host. I'm your yarn host Jennifer and I'm sitting on the floor today. Why am I sitting on the floor? Why? Now, we're going to be moving the camera a little bit here and there. If you guys may have noticed in some of the videos in the background, there's like boxes over here of yarn. And the reason there's boxes over here of yarn is because I am trying to organize and put things away, and I do apologize. I did not bring my ring light down here, so there's going to be darkness and shadows, and it's going to be fine because I have a good camera, and it will work out. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to work out. Because we're not really showcasing anything special. We're just down here on the floor talking, okay? So I wanted to show you guys why there's boxes on the floor. This is actually a new addition to the floor. I like to keep my yarn stash organized so that I know where things are. I like to keep it rotated so that I'm seeing yarns, because sometimes on this bookshelf in particular, move Mr. Cinnamon's chair a little bit that way. This shelf in particular, this one, it tends to get overlooked. I ignore it most often because I'm working from this bookshelf or this bookshelf. And then I have buckets, and we're not going to talk about the buckets that live under the desk. Okay? Everything is neat and organized. However, I like to rotate stock so that my imagination is sparked more frequently, so that I'm seeing what I have. And one of the downfalls of that is that oftentimes I will pull out a yarn from a rotation and I will fall completely in love with it, and it will have been a long discontinued yarn like this. This is Jelly Beans from Plymouth Yarns. Totally in love with it. It's been discontinued. So that happens frequently. It's one of the downsides of stash building, is that you go into your stash and you find something and you fall in love with it and you're like, why haven't I used this yet? I know I bought it because I fell in love with it. I'm trying to move my leg inward without knocking the camera because it was in between the tripod legs. And so that's one of the downfalls, is you fall in love and then you can't get the yarn, and they're like, okay, well now what? And what really screws you over is if you fall in love with the yarn and you haven't finished the project and that yarn is not available to buy more to finish the project, so you gotta like improvise. But I'm really good at improvising, so like I'm really good at that. I usually have something in stash that will kind of blend with that. Like the Jelly Beans yarn is electric yellow, which you see right there's electric yellow. So I mean, I have yarns that coordinate with almost everything. It's not a problem. And I like mixing colors, so that's not as big of a problem as someone who is like very strict to, it has to be all the same color, all the same dye lot, all the whatever, you know. All right, so let's get down to business. What am I doing down here? I'm trying to go through these boxes. These boxes are either newly purchased yarns or they're yarns that I'm trying to put into rotation to get used. And at the end of 2022, I had a plastic bin, much like these, and my goal was to empty that bin. I successfully emptied the bin, and actually Scarlett came in here and chewed the bin up, so I had to throw the bin in the garbage. So yeah, we're down a bin, because I could have refilled that with some of these, but I don't want to go out and buy another bin so that I have to, like, so that I'm stashing. So my goal is to use up some of these yarns, which is why I pulled them forward, and I wanted to talk to you guys about that. Because while everybody's doing scrap projects, and I do have, if we scan over here, I have, these are scrap balls right here. And then right here, let's see. This one right here is actually, it's a couple of yarn kits, which I could grab and show you guys if I can reach around over there. It's like packs of 3, or this is a yarn kit with Annie's yarn, and then apparently I have another color of the Moroccan Nights, which I didn't know I had 2 of those. And then it's like sets of yarn. This was gifted to me from my friend Amy, and that's like groupings mostly. And then I have a couple of skeins of yarn in here for washcloths for my niece. I finally found that again. So that's what this little bag is, this basket. And then the coordinating one over there, the big one, that's scrap balls. That's balls that I have used for a project or a tutorial or whatever else. And then this is what I have that I want to work on, that I'm goaling myself to work on. So I was digging through back here behind Mr. Cinnamon's chair. There's doors and there's multi-packs in there. So while I wouldn't say it's sweater quantities worth of yarn, it might be sweater quantities for like a small body, but like since I have such a large body, it's not sweater quantity to me. So it's like 5 packs. So there's yarn in there in 5 packs. There's really nice universal wools that is discontinued that are in 5 packs. I have cottons that are in 5 packs. There's some acrylics that are in there for 5 packs. Like back in the day, there was, and I don't remember the name of the store. It does not exist anymore. And it was really big on the internet. I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago. It had to have been 4 years ago. It was like 4 years ago. There was a store and they were selling 5 packs of yarn for $1. So I bought several of them, and it's called Dark Horse yarn. And it's lovely. I've made a campfire cardigan out of it. I think I may have made 2 campfire cardigans out of the yarn, and I still have a single pack left. So I have a 5 pack of that. It's really nice acrylic. And while I was digging through there in the 5 packs, I saw this. Now, this is a box from the Dollar Tree, from Premier Yarns. So this is all the Dollar Tree. This is all Dollar Tree yarn. Most of it is Premier Yarns. I have one crafter square in here, but most of this is the Just Yarn worsted. And it's beautiful, beautiful, vibrant colors. And because there's not light down here, it's not showing you how beautiful these colors really are. Yeah, see, that looks way more pink, but this is like a deep magenta, or it says fuchsia. But like, these colors are gorgeous. You guys can't even see how gorgeous they are, but they're gorgeous. I pulled this down because it's been in there a while. And I don't use the Dollar Tree yarn very frequently because they're small balls and I got to piece together a bunch of stuff. And like when these first came out, I was like all for it, and now I'm kind of like they're just sitting there. So I pulled this out because at least this section here would make a beautiful vibrant blanket, and I'm telling you, the lighting is not doing this justice at all. Let's see if we can fix that at all. Yeah, no. It's close, but I mean, it's way vibrant. So I pulled this down because I thought this would be a beautiful blanket. 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. I have 18 plus 1. So technically I have 19, but I mean, it's so pretty. And then I have these lighter pastel-y colors right here, which would make a nice whatever I make. And these are 131 yards for $1. Well, I paid $1 because this was before it was a $1.25 tree. I paid $1 each for these for 131 yards. So I have a lot there to make a decent sized blanket. And then let me show you. We'll just separate off those pastel colors. These ones right here. Isn't that pretty? Like, you guys can't even see how gorgeous it is. So I pulled that down. So that is where our new goal for the month of February is to use up these yarns. And I figured if I pull them down, I can make myself another pretty decent sized blanket. Or I could use those balls because those balls are perfect size for Jada's crochet along for this year. I'll move you guys just a little bit back. And then I want them out. I want them so that I can see them. I am actually crocheting. I'm in the process of crocheting another one of those baskets. It's not as small as the one I pulled out, but it's not as large as the one with my scrap balls in it. But I am making it extra tall because, let me move you guys back again. If you look at this basket with the green right here, This is double that size in height, and I flipped it over and it holds the basket open more. So this is actually big enough to fit a garbage can, my small garbage can inside of it. And I flipped it down and it makes a much more sturdy basket, and I like it a lot more than that. Or like that. I like it a lot more like that. And so that's the goal for the basket I'm currently working on, which is in the living room, because that's where it's almost done. And my goal is to make another basket and fill it up with some of these yarns. Now obviously these yarns are not going to fit in there. Those are extra big skeins. I don't really have a place to put those right now, so they're going to sit there. And then I have this bag right here, which I separated out. This, I believe, because I got this at the Dollar Tree too, and it was a bag. I got a bunch of these at the Dollar Tree, and it was like, what are those called? A mill-end bag, but it was $1.25 for the mill-end bag. So I have a bunch of these, and I think these are Serenity Chunky from Premier. I'm positive. So I pulled out the black because the black can go with some of the lighter colors that I have. This one, however, has white on the inside, which I found odd, but I have 3.5 skeins of that. I think I have another 4th one somewhere. I just got to figure out where it rolled off to. And then, here. Now, this bag right here is Mary Maxim Glimmer. Is it Glimmer? Yeah, Mary Maxim Glimmer yarn. This yarn is fantastic. And the reason this is pulled out is because I am working on, where did I put it? I'm working on the Jujus N Stitches calendar blanket. And I know that it's around here somewhere. It's in a bag. And I'm not seeing it. I'll probably put it somewhere. Anyway, I am making it in glitter yarns. And so I left these out because I don't know what she's going to have. She's doing the Grafgan design, and January was snowflakes. And so for the snowflakes, I used a light sparkle blue and a dark sparkle blue, very similar to this. And I want to put like a strip between the months. And so I'm going to use this gray sparkle. And then I'm hoping, because today, as a matter of fact, today, when you guys are watching this video, which is yesterday in my time, because I filmed this on Thursday, she's releasing February's, and I really hope that it's hearts or something Valentine's Day-ish, because I pulled out the pink and the red already, and it's in the project bag, which I have no idea where I put it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So, oops, I kicked you. So I left these out because these are some of my sparkle yarns. So this is the possibility of going into the calendar crochet along from Jujus N Stitches, because they're sparkle yarns. I do have way more sparkle yarns. I have, if I tip you up just a little bit, on this shelf with the bee, there are Hobby Lobby sparkle yarns. I have lilac, and they're up here in this corner right here. I have lilac and a Walmart one, which is also lilac-y color. I have a teal sparkle one. I have a rose gold sparkle one. And behind this blue bunny right here, I also have pinks and like peaches that are all sparkle. So I have lots of sparkle yarn to choose from, but I left that out because it's a quick reach if she releases something and I need the sparkle yarn for that. I really wish I knew what I did with that. I don't have my stretcher thing to reach and pull stuff. I found it. It's in my Charlie Brown bag. I was sent this fabric in Happy Mail, I think last year. And I made this project bag out of it, and it is one of my favorite project bags. Screw back into place. Alright, so, as a reminder, this is the Jujus N Stitches January strip. And I want to add, like I said, the silver on top to separate the colors out. And I know it's hard to tell, but this is like a baby blue and this is like a royal blue or a deep navy blue. So with the hopes that she's doing something Valentine's-y, I pulled out red and pink. So this is the Mary Maxim Glimmer in the color red. It's very, very sparkly, very, very, it's a deep red. It's like this, well, put it in the shadow of my hair. It's like that deep of a red. And then this very pinky, pastel-y, bubblegum pink color. So I pulled those out already. Another thing I wanted to share with you guys. Okay, when I was doing, Jujus Stitches has, she made bobbins for her crochet along. She made bobbins that she would wind, because each one of these dark sections, you wind the yarn for this section on a bobbin. And I purchased some from Amazon, and this made my life so much easier. And I'm going to tell you why. There's nothing wrong with the way Jada does it at all. But I'm clumsy, I'm messy, I'm disorganized, and I get really frustrated, and I tend to tangle my yarn like nobody's business. So I bought a pack of these from Amazon. I got two colors. I got purple and I got yellow. And they're just plastic. They're flexible a little bit. And what I did is I wrapped the yarn this way, like a typical bobbin. And I clipped these suckers on so that the yarn for the project, and these weren't real expensive. I think they were, I don't even think I paid, let me check. I don't even think I paid $10 for them. I will link these below in case you're doing this crochet along and you want something like this. No pressure. Let's see. These are large yarn bobbins. Yeah, I paid $9.40 for a pack of 20 pieces. It says there's only 9 left, so I will find this one and I will see if I can find another link because they had more than one kind. I just purchased these ones because they were there. And I just wound the yarn around them and I clipped them here. So when it was time to work on that section, I unclipped this one and I took some yarn off and wound from it. And then when I was done with that section, I put it back on and went to the next bobbin and I pulled it off. And these made my life so much easier, and it kept all the yarn attached. So yeah, I forgot to show you guys those last week. I was like, really, these, I'm telling you, come in super handy. And then yeah, that's what I have in there. It's one of my many, I don't do whips. I don't, which is why I don't tend to do crochet alongs. I make something and I get it done so I can move on to the next project. I feel like my reward for finishing what I'm working on is getting to work on a new project. Oops, sorry, banging you again. And so it's frustrating to me to have whips, but like at the same time I'm excited because I have that. I'm working on a snake. I'm working on the basket. I'm working on Bentley's blanket. I have more whips than I think I've ever had, and it's driving me crazy because I want to finish all of them, and I have to move right now in this time and space. I have to move between projects because Bentley's blanket ran out of yarn and I'm waiting for that order to be filled. The Jujus N Stitches thing is a crochet along, so it's going to take me all year to make it, which I've never done a year-long project. I've never done anything to this magnitude, and I'm really excited about it, but I'm hopeful that I don't quit because I have a hard time with keeping things a long time. I just want to get it done and get it on with, you know, and that's part of my personality flaws. And then the snake I have to work on in little bits and then stop working on it because my eyesight is still not back to where it was supposed to be. The whole diabetes thing like really messed with my vision. So I'm getting really bad headaches because my glasses are not strong enough right now. But the doctor said I can't do anything about that because I have to wait until we get the diabetes thing cleared up so that then I can get my eyes checked. And until then, I'm getting really bad headaches. And also because it's amigurumi, it's really small, it hurts my hands. But then I'm making a basket out of 3 yarns held together, and that hurts my hands. It's like, yeah. So I'm moving between projects. I'm really glad that Jada's February thing is coming out today because that gives me something to break up the projects that hurt my hands. Alright, so now I showed you guys this is mostly big fat yarn, but there's also the Red Heart Super Saver brushed, because I feel like the brushed is in the same category with the Jiffy, which is in here, and the classic variegated from Big Twist is fuzzy, whereas the regular Big Twist classic is not fuzzy. Now, this is the box that is going to go into the basket that I'm creating, and this is going to be, my goal is to work through this box now. Just like in December, we had the goal to work through that one bucket. This is going to be my new bucket. My goal is to work through this yarn. Now, this is one of those bags I got. The bag of yarn, I had to replace the bag because the bag was ripped all to heck. This is yarn I got from the $1.25 tree. I paid $1.25 for all of these skeins of yarn in one little bag. It was the Millens thing. This is also the same thing. This one doesn't have a bag. It is the same exact yarn as the yellow, except it's this beautiful slate blue color. But as you can see, they're trying to come untangled, and like, that's another whole thing altogether. If you guys recall, I got 4 bags with that really killer deal from the $1.25 tree in Culpeper. I got a yellow, I got the blue, I got the black bulky, and I got a white one. The white one I'm using in the basket, the big beautiful basket tutorial from Jujus Stitches. I'm making a basket out of that tutorial. I'm holding 3 yarns together. The white was so horribly tangled. I had to ball it up to even work with it. This makes it look good. And this I know is going to give me problems, but this has a nice satiny finish to it. This feels like anti-pilling acrylic, and anti-pilling acrylic, because of the satiny finish to it, it tends to not tangle as badly. So I think I'm not going to have as many problems with this as I did the white one. The white one was like a multi-strand yarn held together, and I think it's maybe a 3-weight. And it's got like a coarseness to it. It's not rough, but it's got a coarseness to it. And if it even folds over on itself, it tangles. And so I was trying to ball it up. And I'm sitting on the couch with Juju. I'm trying to ball it up, and it's just getting more and more tangled. And I'm getting so frustrated because all I wanted to do was sit and crochet. You know, it was one of those days where you got high anxiety or high stress. And I just wanted to sit and crochet something simple. Okay? This is all, and I'm just so frustrated with this yarn. And I'm winding, and I'm like, okay, I can't center pull from this ball because, first of all, like, that's what the ends look like. Good luck finding the center, right? So I found the center, and I was crocheting from the center, and then it got so tangled I couldn't pull another inch out. So because of that, I broke the string. I just straight up broke it, and I'm like, I put the project to the side, and I'm like, I'm gonna outer pull. And I'm outer pulling, and I'm balling it up, and I'm outer pulling, and I'm balling it up, right? And then all of a sudden the outer pull is now on the inside of the ball, and I don't know how that's even possible physically. Now I got a center pull, but it's not center pulling. I don't know what they did to this ball of yarn, what freak show happened to it to make the outer be on the inner. It's almost like the whole ball got flipped inside out. And the way it was wrapped, you know how like it's wrapped like this kind of way in a normal skein? I mean, these are bad examples, but you know I'm talking. Let me grab a better ball. It's just wrapped like this way and that, okay? Normal skeins of yarn. Once I got to the part where it went back inside, first of all, it looked like the ball had got flipped inside out, which I don't know how is possible. And secondly, it wasn't wrapped in that fashion anymore. It was just, it looked like a rat's nest. And I was like, I can't do this. I picked up the skein and I put it right in the garbage can because there is not a reasonable way to untangle that yarn at that point. And I was super frustrated. And you can tell if you look in this box, this is going to be next. It's going to be so tangly. So my goal is to use up, first and foremost, these balls of yarn. that I got from the $1.25 tree. Tangle. I'll deal with that later. So I got this color and this color, and they don't necessarily go together. So I wonder if these would fit in this bag. Probably not. I need another bag. So my goal is to use these up. I'm using the white in the bag, the crochet basket that I'm working on. And so I'm using up the 5 of the white, 4 now, 4.5. And then I want to make something out of these so that they're not in stash anymore. And then I also have like just randoms in here, just randoms. So we have the Premier Gala, which it's a beautiful yarn. It's really good for jewelry making. It's good for accent type pieces. It's really, really beautiful, but it's one of those yarns like I don't know what to do with it. So I need to use it. Find something. I made Christmas ornaments out of these. It was really beautiful. They worked up gorgeous. And this is really for a jewelry maker, I'm going to be honest. And I don't find joy in working in this a whole lot. So I think if I don't use these, I'm probably going to donate them. And then I have yarn from the Dollar Tree in here as well, which this is the Just Active. So this is not the same as the box. So this is Just Yarn Worsted. This is 100% acrylic. The Just Active Worsted is 100% no, it's 80-20. It's 80% polyester, 20% acrylic, and it's a nice yarn. But we'll just put that over there with the Dollar Tree yarn. We'll figure that out later. And then we have 2 different kinds of Crafter Square. This is the Crafter Square. What is this? These are all from the $1.25 tree. This looks like it's a worsted. It might be a 3-weight. It doesn't say. It just says that it's 100% acrylic. And it's a nice soft yarn. And then I have this, which is the Crafter Square, which is 100% acrylic. But this is the Crafter Square Princess. And this is like a lace weight. It's very, very, very thin. So that's probably going to be a hold together with something else. So that's from the $1.25 tree. I have 1 skein of brown. This was supposed to be part of a giveaway, and I picked 2 different winners, and nobody won the nobody contacted me back, which happens a lot with my giveaways. I will have a giveaway and I will contact somebody. I don't get an email from them. I don't get a heart saying that they got the like nothing. And then I'm stuck with the product that I was trying to give away, and that's what this was. It's like a brown, but I'm gonna put that up there because it's the same size as these balls of yarn. Those actually go good together. It's like chocolate strawberries. And then I have a little bag of fluff. I can go over there with my other fluff. And then what else is in here? I have, this probably needs to go on my shelf. This is Universe Extra Large Halloween from Hobie. It's beautiful, but I'm not feeling the Halloween colors right now. So I think this is going to go up there with Frankenstein. And, oh, I missed. I'll pick it up later. And then I have leftovers from the Pixie Dust Brights. You guys know I don't really work a whole lot with these fuzzy yarns. I don't make a lot of amigurumi. I don't make a lot of fuzzy type stuff with my yarns. I like this yarn just fine, but I don't, aside from making amigurumi, which I don't tend to make, I don't know what to do with this yarn. So I pulled it out because what I would really love to do is make a big octopus and a big heart pillow. So, I mean, I know what to do with some of it. I don't know what to do with the black. I don't know what I want to make with the black because I made a bug out of the black. But it would make a nice little throw pillow. I don't know. It's sparkly blanket yarn. Focus. It's super sparkly. And it looks like it would be like, because it looks like there's crystals in there. It looks like it would be rough and prickly, and it's not. It just feels like blanket yarn. But it's a 4-weight blanket yarn. So, I don't know. That's 3 more skeins of yarn I am set that I want to use up. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do these all in February, but in the first quarter of the year, maybe by the end of March, I'll get this done. And then I have a partial skein of Lion Brand Ice Cream Grande or Big Scoop in the color Lemon Meringue. I made an entire shirt out of this yarn, and this is, I think, the leftovers of the second skein that I needed. So I don't know where that shirt is. It's a beautiful shirt. There's probably fine. I think it's in my upstairs closet. But I want to use up the rest of this because it's just sitting here. And I don't know, maybe it will go with the regular yellow. But this is the same style of yarn as it's what I think is an acrylic yarn. It's the stripy baby colors, and it looks like it's a 3-weight. I don't know where this yarn came from, why I have it, but I wanted to use this up as well. And it's yellow and green instead of just the yellow and white. So they don't go together, but it's the same style of yarn. So they could go on a project together. But that is definitely not ice cream yarn. Then we have a plastic bag. Just a random plastic bag. I have a ball of white sparkle yarn. I think this is... Bentley got a hold of this, which is why there's a leaf on there, because he took it outside and ate the label and decorated the backyard. This is, I believe, Red Heart with Love Sparkle or something or another, metallic something. And it's just a partial white ball of sparkles, which probably can go in here with the other sparkle yarn for the Jujus Stitches blanket in case I need white for something. I'm not anticipating using white because I really want it to be colorful, because you guys know how I roll. I like color. But just in case, I'll put that with those sparkle yarns. And then, Northern Heathers from Mary Maxim. I did a review on this yarn. I bought a bunch of Mary Maxim yarns, I think a year or 2 ago, and I started just doing a Mary Maxim review series, and this is one of those yarns, and it's beautiful. It's got like 2 different colors of purples. Isn't that gorgeous? So I want to make something pretty out of this. It's a lightweight number 3. It's 100% acrylic. It's the color Thistle. It's 100, I said it's 100% acrylic. Made in Turkey. How many yards is this? 300 yards almost. 297. So I want to make something pretty with this because it's gorgeous and I want to work with it. If you haven't tried Mary Maxim Northern Heathers, it's beautiful. It's got a little, like you can feel the twist in it. You can feel the twist. So it's almost like a textured yarn. It doesn't make it rough or scratchy. It's just, it's textured. And then, we'll get to those little balls in a minute. I have Premier Color Fusion DK, which, because of what I'm currently working on, I think might go together with this. Because what I'm doing for the basket is I have 2 different colors of this, and I'm holding it together with the white. And it's making a beautiful basket. But I think these colors could be held together. But this is like blue jeans. And this looks gray next to it, but it's definitely, it's blue. So I have one of these I want to use up. And then I have AC Moore yarn, Stitch Studio by Nicole. I did a review on this as well because Premier Yarns re-released this yarn. I don't remember what they call it. I know I have it in green. I don't know where it's at. I have a couple more skeins of this. So this is, I would like to ideally use this up, but this is 100% acrylic. You can't buy this yarn anymore from AC Moore, but you can buy this yarn from Premier Yarns. It is one of their basics. It's the Premier Basics something or another. And then I got this. This is Palm Beach. It gives a terry cloth look. I got this from the bag sale at Scrap RVA. So it's a thrift store yarn. It is very terry clothy, and I thought this would make good washcloths. So it's 100% acrylic. It's from Spin Right, and it's called Bouquet Palm Beach. And I don't even know how old this yarn is. Made in Canada. Yeah, so I want to use that up as well. Now, we're down to the whites. We're down to the whites. These three on this side are Mary Maxim Baby's Breath. Baby's Best. It says that it's a number 2 yarn. A number 2. So someone, I've gotten asked this a couple of times recently. What do the numbers mean? Number 4 worsted, number 3 DK. Okay, it's the thickness of the yarn. The higher the number, the thicker the yarn is. A 7 jumbo is like this, and then it goes down from there. 6, 5 bulky, 4 is worsted, which is most yarn on, like at the store. Like most box yarn is a 4 weight. It's a worsted weight. And then 3 is slightly thinner. It's called the DK or double knitting. And then 2 is sport weight. And then 1 is fingering or lace weight. So it gets really, really thin. This is labeled as a number 2. I would say it's closer to a number 3. And on top of that, it plumps up like a number 4. So I pair this up with a number 4 very easily. It goes with a 3 or a 4 and it blends in. You can't tell it's a thin yarn. It's really soft, it's really squish and plump, and I don't have a lot of white yarns. So I'm thinking I'm gonna stash these somewhere and not use them because I need to keep white on hand because I never have white when I need it. And then this is the same thing. It's, this is Grundle Lisa Premium Uni. It's just a white yarn. The texture is totally different from that other one. This one is 100% acrylic. It's a 50-gram ball, 133 meters. It doesn't say if it's worsted or DK. Hang on, let me compare it side by side with the Mary Maxim. So the Mary Maxim is not 100% acrylic. It's 70% acrylic, 30% nylon, which is probably why it's so soft. Oh, this says DK / sport weight. That's crazy. And then it says a fine number 2. So it doesn't know what it is. It don't know what it is. This one is, where is the yardage? It's a 50-gram ball. 157 meters. And the Grundle is 133. So this one's probably thinner than this one. So that is all of it. That's all of the yarn. But I'm going to put the white to the side I'm going to stash that. And then the rest of these I have the goal to use in the first quarter of the year. And my battery is dying. Hang on one second. There we go. All right, we're back in business. So, this box, that don't belong in there. This box is going to convert into, you know what, as a matter of fact, we'll tuck these in. Is going to convert into the basket as soon as I'm done with the basket. And these will be, my goal is to use these yarns up first and foremost above everything else. There's not a lot of yarn in here, but it's just yarn that I want to use up and get out of the way. And so that is my goal. That is what I'm doing today, is I'm sorting and figuring out what I'm doing with what yarn. And these are going to be the biggest problem because I want to use these up because they were such a killer deal. So I need to probably bag those up. See? Look at that. Completely full. That's going to be my goal, is to get rid of those yarns, use them up. And I think I'm going to probably donate these. because I can't think of a project right now that I would need to use those for. And I'm going to put the white in the Sparkle Mary Maxim bag, because they are Mary Maxim yarns. And that way they're not on the floor. They're nice and clean. And I need to figure out what I'm doing with those big giant skeins of yarn of the Jiffy and the Comfort. But yeah, so that's what we're doing today. We're sitting on the floor and cleaning. It'll be fine. I also forgot I need to use this up as well. So that's a secondary thing. That's not going in the basket though. I don't think that big old box of yarn. I think that is just going to be, I might find a bucket for that, because I have smaller buckets. And that way it's right there. And then when I decide that I can have time to make that blanket that I want. I have a couple of blankets I want to work on, but like I said, I'm working on other things first. I want to finish Bentley's blanket. I want to finish my snake. I need to finish the basket so that I can store that stuff in it. And then I can work on another big blanket. But I'm not in a rush for any of that right now. I'm just trying to, you know, I also want to take time to sew this weekend. I don't know if that's going to happen. Mr. Cinnamon has been out of town all week. And it just feels like, first of all, it feels like the week has been dragging by. It's been going so slow for me and him. And so, like, time is going by slow, but I also feel like I'm not getting anything done. I will crochet and crochet and crochet, and it's like, doesn't feel like it's growing, even though it is growing. The one thing that has been positive about this week is little man has been so good with his dad gone. I don't know what that is about, but he has been helpful. He has been, I think his dad had a talk with him before he left town saying, you know, Mom needs your help, like, you're the man. You know, that talk seems to work really well with dudes. Like, you're the man now, you're in charge. And so I've also been I've been having a lot more leeway with him. His dad's a little bit harder on him, which I think a lot of dads are. Not in a bad way. He's just, you know, more restrictive to stuff. And I'm just like, let's just do this. Like, I ain't got time to argue, you know. And so he took the garbage can to the curb for me, which was fantastic. He didn't even argue. He's been taking the garbage out for me. These are his chores. He does it every day, every week. But he tends to argue with his dad. Whereas with me, he's just like, all right, I'm gonna go. He knows not to mess with mama. So he's also, dinner is like it's a hard thing for him because he doesn't sit still. So sitting still to eat a meal is difficult for him with his ADHD. And this week he has not only been sitting at the table throughout dinner, he's been conversating with us, which he usually doesn't do. He's usually bouncing around or like messing with something or like playing on his phone or something. And then he doesn't eat real well either. Like, he used to eat really well. And like when he started his ADHD medication, his appetite has like diminished. So he doesn't eat real well, but also I have to keep reminding him to take the next bite. And I haven't had to do that at all this week. So I don't know what that's about, but I'm not gonna jinx it. Like, let's keep this momentum going. It also could be just that he's growing up. He's 8.5 now. I read an article one time, this is gonna get personal, that people with special needs children, the divorce rate the first 8 years of having a special needs child is like 80%. And so I learned this I think when little man was like 4. And so I told Mr. Cinnamon, I was like, we just got to get through the 8 years, you know. We just got to get through, because it's hard. It's hard on families. It's hard on parents. It's hard on Juju, because she has to deal with the chaos sometimes that ensues. And it's hard on marriages, because there's always a conflict of how to handle it, or how to deal with it, or how to, you know, all the how-tos. And so I told Mr. Cinnamon, I was like, we just got to get through 8 years. And at the 8-year mark, like, there's still difficulties, don't get me wrong, but it has gotten easier at the 8-year mark. And I hope that that continues. I hope that he continues to just get easier to, I think it's because it's such a huge learning curve, because I know this, and I've said this so many times, I'm a great mom. That is the one thing I know above anything else in this whole world. I'm a good mom. And I used to be way more confident of that when it was just me and the 3 girls. And the little man came along and I doubted everything because I didn't know what I was doing. Like, that's not something, you don't automatically have the knowledge how to deal with special needs. You don't. That's something you have to learn, and there's not a book for it because special needs vary greatly between children. And so if I had 2 children that were both ADHD, the way to handle one would not be, and I kind of do, because Pumpkin Spice, my oldest niece, she has never been diagnosed ADHD, but I know that she is ADHD. She knows that she's ADHD. She has a lot of similarities with Little Man, and I feel like she was my practice run for dealing with Little Man because they have a lot of the same issues. She was nowhere near as severe as him, but they have a lot of the same issues, and she really prepared me for a lot of stuff with him, but at the same time, totally different worlds. Totally, you cannot handle one the same way you handle the other. And so, like, I'm constantly trying to learn what the keys are with Lucas, how to unlock those doors with him. And we went to a school meeting when he was in kindergarten, and I talked to, I don't remember what her official title was. She was a behavioral something or another, and she talked to me about his evaluation from the psychologist that diagnosed him with ADHD, and she was talking about what she was basically giving me the information. The information is there in the report, but I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a psychiatrist. I don't understand some of that. I'm a smart person. I understand a lot of it. I did take psychology for fun in high school. Oh, sorry. It's hard sitting on the floor. Part of my body. And so she told me, she said, this part of the report means that when you tell him something, to do something or not to do something, that's not good enough. And that's why he was having behavioral issues, is because you can't just tell him, no, don't do that. He needs a why. And if you don't have an explanation, he doesn't care that you said no. And so it was like she gave me a key to unlock this door in him that I just did not know how to open. I would tell him no. I would try to punish him the same way I punished the girls, the ways that it worked. Timeout didn't work. Grounding him didn't work. Nothing worked. Nothing. There was no punishment that would make him listen when I told him no. And he was on like this death wish. Like he ate an earring one time. He didn't look when he was crossing the road because he couldn't, like, there's too many things in his brain where he just could not understand to look before running into the road, okay? Scary, scary times. Like, he was dangerous. He was dangerous to himself. And so when she told me that, she gave me the key and unlocked something in him, and it helped me so greatly to just understand that I can't just tell him, no, don't do that. That's dangerous. That's not a good enough. I have to explain the entire mechanism of why it's dangerous and what could possibly happen. And then he's like, oh, okay, I won't do that. So, you know, I have no idea how I got on this subject, but, oh, because he's doing good this week. We're having a good week with him. He's doing good in school. He's got his homework. Like when Mr. Cinnamon's home, Mr. Cinnamon is usually in charge of homework because I did homework with 3 girls for a lot of years. And I told Mr. Cinnamon, I was like, you're going to pick up the slack because I work now. And so you're going to help with, and I gave him tasks. Bedtime routine, it's Mr. Cinnamon's job. Showers, he's a boy. Mr. Cinnamon, you're in charge of making sure that he cleans all his dirty parts, okay? Like, just make sure he washes behind his ears, the bottom of his feet, all the boy parts. That's not my, nope, that's you. Okay? And then, homework. I said you can do homework. I've done homework way too many years. You know, that's you. I will handle all the other mommy stuff. You know, you can do homework. Little man fights him. He fights him. He doesn't want to do homework. He doesn't want to sit down and do homework. And so all this week he's like, he walks in the door. He sets down his backpack. And I said, go do your homework. And he slaps his homework together and he puts it back on the refrigerator. And he's done for the day. And like He can go about his business, do whatever he wants to do in his bedroom. He can go outside, he can do whatever he wants. Although it's been really cold and nasty weather. I can't wait for spring. But just like everything has gone really good this week. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to Mr. Cinnamon being home though. Because I'm recording this, he's not home yet. He'll be home today, Friday. He will be home. He went away on a business trip. I hate when he's gone on business trips. And then Juju and her dogs have been in the bed with me and Bentley, and I have not slept at all this week. Because her dogs, I'm telling you, they are usually in her bedroom with her with the door closed. Well, now Scarlett has realized that the door is open, so she's going to get up and wander the house in the middle of the night. I can't sleep when there's even slightly noises happening. So at 2 o'clock in the morning, I hear crunching downstairs. Scarlett took her happy self down the stairs and is eating out of the garbage the tortilla chips that the kids had for dinner last night. Just... And even when I yelled down the stairs to her to come back upstairs, she just proceeded to keep chomping. And now Bentley's awake. So now Bentley has to go outside. So I'm like, oh my God. And then Bentley is up a lot at night because he can't get comfortable like he's used to because the dogs are taking up space in the bed. Yeah, that's not for me. Them dogs need to go back to Juju's room because I can't do it. I can't do it with 3 dogs. And Bentley is almost as big as the other 2 girls now. And so we got like 3 40-pound dogs. Yeah. So. Alright. I have talked way long enough. I'm going to let you guys go. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. I have not recorded a members video yet. But I think what's going to happen is I'm going to do a quick poll or something. Because I would like the members' input on some things. And so I think that's going to be the members' content this weekend is we're going to talk about what I'd like to talk about, what I need input on. So we'll let the members have a say in some things that are coming up. And I'm going to let you go, and I will see you on Monday. Bye, guys.